All right, hello again. My name is Morty. This is another mildly Gunpla review and time lapse, and we are looking at today the Freedom Gundam from Gundam Seed. So this is, of course, the high grade Freedom Gundam. This is a 2015 kit, so it is a fairly new kit. It's 5 years old now, but it's still within that range of like fairly modern high grades, which means it's probably going to be a fairly good quality. Maybe not quite the level of like that Infinite Justice and the Gundam that have come out, which I'm really hoping to get my hands on. Hobbyco, Gundam Express, message me. Anyway, the Freedom Gundam is a super cool kit. I'm a huge fan of the Seed series. It's probably one of my favorite Seeds. It is my favorite Gundam series. There's no question about that. I'll get a lot of flack for that because people love to crap on Seed for some reason. I don't know why. Seed is great, but anyway. I do apologise in advance for weird lighting choices on this one. I'm in a hotel room, my backup light is dead. I can't be bothered waiting the 2 to 3 hours that it will take to charge it when it will take me that time to build it. So I'm running off a little desk lamp here, a little bit of external light, the light on the roof, and camera settings. So fingers crossed this doesn't look terrible. I will be monitoring it. But if it does look terrible, I do apologise and I'll do my best in post. Anyway, that's enough me rambling for now. Let's jump into the build and then I'll see you on the other side for a quick review. All right, welcome back. Here we are. So that is the build for the Freedom. So this kit is super cool. If you've ever built, say, the Gusion or pretty much any more modern high grade, say from the last 5 years, you've probably built a similar internal build system like this one here. So it's got the joints and everything. I believe it's called the Fine Build System. I could be wrong, and it could just be something very similar, or it could be an early predecessor or something similar, but it's gorgeous. This kit is amazing. It doesn't suffer from the same problems that the Strike Freedom Real Grade has. Oh, I just noticed a problem with the wing. Here we go. Line that up and get those all sorted. There we go. Oh, fix that. So, it doesn't have just super weak ankles. The backpack doesn't seem to cause any issues. The weapons look great. The kit itself looks great. It's one of the first times I've seen a strike kit or any real kit that actually just straight up holds its shield like that. It's not attached by a joint on the arm or anything. It just the thing just sits in the hand. It sits in the hand like that, and that's super cool. I really like that idea. The weapon does click onto the back, onto the butt. The only major problem I've got is these, your beam sabers, more beam saber handles. Come on, focus. No. So beam saber handle. Whatever, you get the idea. So the beam saber handles, they are super annoying to sit right here on the hip. Now, I did not bring with me into this hotel room any of my glue, so I didn't get the chance to just stick them in place. You could probably do other things, like put a little bit of a hole in one and like maybe a little metal rod or something like that, try to keep them in place a bit better. But they're just kind of kept in place by a tiny little bit of friction inside the lips of this piece on the waist here. And they just flop out constantly. It's an absolute nightmare to deal with. So I've just taken them out, and they'll probably stay out until I glue them into place. I don't care if I'll never be able to use the beam sabers on this kit, because it's a high grade. I don't do a huge amount of posing with them. They kind of just sit on the shelf and look pretty. Now, there is a few things to point out with this kit, aside from obviously the beam saber problem. First off, it's only got the one pair of hands, and they're the grippy fist hands with a hole in them. So they hold the rifle pretty steadily, they hold the shield pretty steadily, and I'd assume that they probably hold these beam saber handles pretty steadily as well, but they don't have any real expression to them. So don't expect dynamic posing hands or just straight up fists or anything like that. They're going to look weird unless they're holding something. So I'd recommend keeping its weapons in hand pretty much all the time. The other thing is it comes with a lot of color correcting stickers. So I do apologize for the light. It's not great. It's just a tiny little lamp. But the number of color correction on here isn't that huge. So there's the blue on the white of the rifle here. There should be a little bit of red right here on the end of these cannons on his hips. There is a little bit of red on the shield here. There's a bit of red on these beam cannons on the wings. And then there's a little bit more going on in the back here as well. So there's obviously the red stickers here. There's this red and yellow sticker up the back here, which actually looks kind of hideous now that I look at it on the figure. So I might take that off because it's not great. But then again, I'm not having him standing with his back to me when he's on display. So he's gonna just kind of stay looking like that, menacing and awesome. But overall, he's a really cool kit. I really enjoyed the build. It was quite a fun, easy build. Really nice little afternoon sit down kind of thing. There is a lot of dark plastic on this kit, so if you're like me and you only do one, maybe two cuts with mid-range nippers, I think mine cost $40, you are going to leave nub marks. If you're doing like the two-snip method and you're sanding and you're doing all that stuff, then you'll probably be able to get rid of them pretty easily. But for a modeler like me, I don't tend to. You can kind of make them out on these weapons on his waist, but otherwise you can't see them when he's just standing there in front of you. So like, if I fixed these up and got them to disappear, you probably wouldn't see any nub marks at all unless you looked really, really closely. So it cleans up really, really nicely and really, really easily, which for me is a massive bonus. The only thing that lets it down are these beam sabers, and if anyone's watched my channel before, they'll know that polycaps really get my goat. So unfortunately this kit does have a number of polycaps, which does mean that all those joints will eventually loosen up. But that's just something I'm going to have to deal with as time permits and as it happens really over the course of the years. Hopefully it's a long way in the future, but we'll see. It's fairly new, so hopefully the plastic holds up. And in some of the older kits you get about 2 months and then they're starting to just droop and fall all over the place. So we'll see what happens in a couple of months' time once it's been on my shelf for a while. Anyway, that's the kit. For a high grade, I will give it a high grade. It's a fantastic kit. I really, really enjoyed it. I am quite biased towards Seed, but I am trying to not be biased. If you're wanting a little bit more further detail on these Strike high grade models, I do have 2 other reviews of my high grade Strike clear color and my real grade Strike, so feel free to have a look at those. I rant a little bit more. But otherwise, yeah, this is a great little kit. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, leave comments, tell me what you like about my videos, leave ideas of kits that you want to see me do, and things like that. Any feedback definitely helps. So yeah, please leave a comment down below, and I will see you in the next video at the same time next week. Catch you later.